Hello friends, my name is Emile and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 52, and in today's episode we're heading back to the East City to compete in some more one-make races. We're heading over to Tommy Kyra this time, and let's see how many one-make races he's got. The answer is 1. It's for the ZZ challenge. That's it. That's all you've got. So anyways, let's go ahead and buy ourselves a ZZ. The only one available to us is the ZZS Coupe. So there we go. We are going to buy it in a colour. Let's go with that one. Sure, why not? So there we go. That is the ZZS Coupe bought. I'm going to go ahead and modify this thing and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so there we go. That is the Tommy Kyra ZZS fully modified up. Is running about 290 brake horsepower and it doesn't weigh all that much, so I'm a little bit scared of this car. Anyways, let's head into the first race, which is for normal style vehicles, and it's on a random course. Okay, so for our first race with the ZZS, we have headed to the Rome full circuit, and as you can see, well, there's one blue ZZS and many green ZZSs. There we go. Which is interesting. So anyways, the Tommy Kyra ZZS, I know nothing about this car. I know a lot of people who play Gran Turismo really seem to like the Tommy Kyra vehicles. Personally, I've never really been huge on them. Specifically this car, I don't particularly like it. I never really even bothered with this car normally. It's only sort of this one make race where I'm actually really going to bother with the car, unless we go into the arcade mode, in which case I might use it because it's a little bit interesting. But yeah, honestly, I never really bothered with this car in Gran Turismo, and I mean the reason for it is essentially, statistically, this thing is a Lotus Elise Sports 190, which is a little bit uglier and comes from a slightly more obscure manufacturer. That's essentially all the ZZS really is to me. It's just a Japanese Lotus Elise, and do I really want a Japanese Lotus Elise? Well, I would. Unfortunately, I don't actually like the way this thing looks. I think it's kind of ugly, especially from the back. I will give them credit, the front is okay. It kind of reminds me of sort of like a 1940s Ford with stuck out headlights and so on, like the rounded headlights it's got, they're really weird. But it's just nothing to me, this car. To drive, I will give it credit. It's not actually nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting, because this thing, I assume, I'm not sure how much it weighs exactly, I should really check. Stock, it weighs 760 kilograms. I assume now it weighs 600 and change. And when we put the racing modification on it, I assume it's, I'll check actually. After we finish the race with the racing modified car, I'll actually go ahead into my garage and check how much this thing actually weighs, because I'd be genuinely curious. But it handles pretty decently for what it is. Yeah, I mean, especially, like I said, credit where credit's due. It's running almost 300 horsepower in a 600 kilogram car. I mean, unless you're Kristin von Koenigsegg, anyone who tries to do that usually is going to be killed. Yeah, it's not a bad handling little car. It's definitely coping better than a Lotus Elise would. With the same sort of power and so on, because the Elise it's a little bit strange. Even the NSX, to be honest with you, like the NSX, when we drove that, that was a horrible car to drive. It really was. It just wanted to slide everywhere. But no, the Tommy Kyra does not, so I'm pleasantly surprised by this car. Has it made me like it anymore? Not particularly. To be honest with you, apparently these are just banned in Europe anyway. For reasons, so yeah, I can't own one anyway, so yeah, and there's probably another reason why I don't much care for the Tommy Kyra. I've never seen one, I've never even seen a picture of one, to be honest with you. Maybe that's something I'll have to have a look at after this episode. Anyways, we win 7,000 credits, and I will see you in a second. Okay, right, let's go ahead and racing modify this baby. Alright, head over to the racing car modifications, and as you can see, it is a pretty bog standard livery, just with quite a few colours. There's all the colours. Because none of them are particularly jumping out at me and making me go, wow, I really need that colour, I'm going to go for the Cloudy Lemonade colour car, because I'm assuming no one else in the history of GT2 has ever actually gone for that particular colour. So why not? I'm going to go for it. It was on the Nissan Micra, so sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and do the racing style race next. For the racing style race, we head to the Grand Valley East section, so let's go. As you can see, no one else has showed up in the lemonade coloured ZZS. There is a red one next to me, there's two blue and white ones, and I assume there's also two, okay, they're black. Okay. Oh wait, is that one green, or is that just my eyes deceiving me? I don't know. I can't remember if green was a colour we could have selected or not. Anyways, Grand Valley East section, a pretty interesting track. I've mentioned before, I do not like the full Grand Valley. I find it incredibly dull. The East section, though, I don't mind this too badly. I believe the last time we did this track was in the Alpha 156. I'm not sure. I should really check, to be honest with you, like what tracks I use in what episodes, because I don't like want to essentially get into a position where like you see the same track, you know, so many times over so many episodes, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. There are certain tracks I will skip, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, if I've got sort of a smaller, not particularly powerful car, then I will skip tracks. I also have to admit, with the normal style ZZS, the first track that came up was Seattle Full. I just can't bother with Seattle Full at the moment. It just essentially goes up by, you know, what takes my pick. I will try and, you know, use some other tracks. I will try and at some point use the full Grand Valley. I will endeavour to use the full Seattle. I believe I've already used it for something, but I'm not sure what. Don't worry, there's still plenty of times to see all your favourite tracks, because we still have approximately a lot of these still to go. Yeah, it's episode 52, so that means it's 30 episodes since we finished the special events. It's also, how many episodes ago? 26 episodes exactly since we finished the one-mate races, so now after the next episode, most of the GT2 Let's Play so far has been one-make races, and it's gonna stay that way, basically. So, what does that actually mean? I'm just trying to work it out off this piece of paper. I've got, in case you're wondering, I have all of the one-make races in my notebook. I have a big notebook. I should really buy a new one, because I desperately need one. But I have all of the one-mate races in this notebook, and I'm ticking them off as I go along, and I will count up for you in a second how many more one-mate races we have. Anyways, we get 10,000 credits, and in a second I'll be able to give you not only an answer, but I'll also show you how much this thing actually weighs. So yeah, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, that is the ZZ challenge fully completed, both for normal style and racing style, and that of course means all of the one-mate races for Tommy Kyra have now been finished. In case you're wondering, we have 26 more one-make races to go, so that's interesting. Anyways, let's just quickly have a look, see how much this thing actually weighs. It weighs, wow, under 600 kilograms, and it has 280 horsepower. Pretty insane little car, if you ask me. Anyways, I'll just go through the game status as well, as I always try to do when I come to the garage. As you can see, we are almost 64% of the way through the game, which is pretty interesting, and we also have 69 cars owned. Hardy-dardy-dar. Anyways, that is it for today's episode of the Gran Turismo 2 Let's Play. I do hope you've enjoyed. In the next episode, we're going to be heading over to Mitsubishi and starting their one-make races, so join me for that. Anyways friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been the Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.